welcome. And then I told them I'll be doing stand-up comedy, so they said, oh, there's no need to overstay. You're never welcome. They're really on the fence with me. It's not just because of comedy, it's because I came to Cambridge to study a subject called land economy. And they have no idea what that is. And quite frankly, neither do I. I really just came here for the first word there. I feel like I get away with not knowing anything. Like if anyone asks me, what is land economy? I just say, well, it's intricate and nuanced. And they stop asking. It's like they think I'm a complicated thesis or something. I have nothing else to say. But you know, I come to the UK, I work hard, and I stay in my lane. No, seriously, though, I really do stay in my lane because one of these days I'm gonna get hit by a cyclist here. No, guys. I mean, for people in England who cycle, do you get brownie points or something for knocking people down on your way to work? For Halloween, I dressed up as a British cyclist. I wore a t-shirt, tracks, and a blindfold because I'm not looking where I'm going. I had a really bad incident with a cyclist here. So for context, when I first arrived in the UK, I kind of wanted a post-breakup haircut. It was a really tough breakup from my parents because I told them I'll be doing stand-up comedy. So I go into the hair salon, I point at a photo of a celebrity. Now what I don't realize is that the hairdresser thinks I'm pointing at the little brother in the photo. So I'm getting the haircut, I'm so excited, haircut's over, and she's like, oh my god, you look like royalty. And I said, yeah, but did it have to be Henry V? So I'm walking to class one day with this Henry V mullet. A swarm of cyclists pass by me, and behind me, on the pedestrian walk, is this old British guy on a bicycle, and he screams, move, you Cornwall bloke. Was Henry V the Cornwall bloke? And I'm like, what? And he says, oh, blimey, I'm gobsmacked, you're a lady. Look, guys, I can understand British slang, but blimey, gobsmacked, I'm not Shakespeare. And at this point, he's fuming because I'm not getting out of the way, so he screams, oh, bloody hell, are you gonna be hanging around here? I was like, that's rich, coming from the people who bloody hung around the subcontinent for 300 years. Henry V put through the trauma, the mullet was shaking. But clearly there was a lot of mistrust, right? Mistrust from my end, mistrust from old British guys. But see, the mistrust that old British guys had for immigrants was mistrust that led to Brexit. And the mistrust that led to Brexit was mistrust that led to Liz Truss. I mean, right? A lot of people say ever since Brexit, the UK's been on its way to being a third world country. I'm just not homesick anymore. But I'm trying to assimilate, I'm trying to embrace local phrases, cheerio, bonkers. But I'm really trying to sink in the word mate. You know, it's so commonly used. Like, cheers, mate, sorry, mate, alright, mate. But I've realized that phrases like cheers, mate, and sorry, mate are just ways for British people to say, look, I know I started the small talk, I really don't want this conversation to go on. Yeah, British people hate getting in anyone's business. Like in Cambridge, someone asked me, morning, how's your day? I was like, not too bad, really missing my family, tough being away from home. Got any advice for that? And he was like, sorry, mate. Like, this was not a two-part conversation. I ask, you answer. What is this, reverse Uno? Yeah, we don't do that here. But I guess that was the best way to talk to people there. But the best way to talk to Londoners? Don't. Crush your soul. But I've got some time, I can talk about life. Sometimes I feel like I'm a reverse atheist. It's not like I don't believe in God, I just don't think God believes in me. Like I got mugged at Aldi. Guys, you go to Aldi because life has already mugged you. Broke. The prolific words of Louis Theroux, my money don't jiggle jiggle. My money don't exist. What the hell do I do that excellent round? And I'm not just broke, I've gone berserk. Like at the store, my card got declined and the cashier was like, move. And I was like, it's all right, mate. Just gave it a good old shake. Like I was going to revive the card or something. Like it was one of those Heinz ketchup sachets. And now there's still something in there, you know, because of inflation. And then I tapped and the cashier was like, sorry, mate. I was like, cheers, mate. Declined again. And then the cashier said, that's checkmate. That just hurt me. But a lot of people say it's comedy, describe your love life. I mean, if I had to describe my love life, I describe it like this beautiful Persian cat my mom got me. Just like that Persian cat, my love life is so dead. Just really doesn't exist anymore. But I feel like I don't care. I've become so averse to love. I mean, I'm not critical of it. I don't mind when couples exhibit public displays of fights. You know, I love a good old whole verbal brawl. You know, I don't want to say this, I'm not Mother Teresa either, you know. But I was on a train at King's Cross, and this couple broke into this ridiculous fight. I think the husband forgot her mom's birthday or something, and she takes water and splashes it on his face. The whole train, they're just aghast. And then she gets up and comes sits next to me, because it was the only empty seat. And at this point, she's a bit embarrassed that everyone saw that. So the woman in front of her tried to console her, but she said the most absurd thing I've ever heard. She said, "It's all right, love. Before my man changed, I used to put heroin in his tea." And I was like, men change? That doesn't happen. Yeah, it is what it is. But I am averse to love. But you know who I really blame for that? I blame Netflix. I mean, Netflix really ruined it for me with all these shows about serial killers and stalkers. It's like I'm picking out sociopathic tendencies in people. Like, I met this guy and he was like, I love food, I love music, I love my family, I really do love my mom. It's like, oh, so you love your mom. But on a scale of 1 to Freud, how much, you know? I want to know what I'm getting into. Then I met this other guy, really posh guy, and he said he loved to go hunting. But I kid you not, judging by the bifocals and mustache, I'm pretty sure he hunts suburban housewives. I don't know. But a lot of people tell me, Sarah, don't be so skeptical. Love is important. Vulnerability is important. There's more to life than just money. And to that I say, cheers, mate. And, yeah. But I do have a criteria though. You know, I want someone who's adventurous, bold, lives life on the edge, but vulnerable and sensitive on the inside. I basically want the exterior of James Bond, but the interior of Paddington Bear. You know, license to kill but cute and cuddly. And I know we encounter such good-looking yet emotionally stable people every day in storybooks. And it is what it is. I'm here on the support of my father. That's why I'm living comfortably. Before any of you view me as a spoiled girl on family inheritance, just know I've decided to pursue a career in comedy. So I'm technically going from riches to rags, inverse of the immigrant dream. With my father, God bless him, really nice guy, simple guy. He only loves a few things in his life. He loves croissants, he loves croquet, he loves cricket, he loves his children, and in that order. But he really does love croissants. I actually saw my father eat one butter croissant every day for 2 weeks. And I tried to stop him, but he believes that every time he eats a croissant, he's transported to heaven. And his cardiologist also believes that every time he eats a croissant, he's transported to heaven. A lot of people ask why I did comedy. See, I did comedy because a very famous comedian once said, "It takes courage to be a fool." That's what I want to be. I want to be a courageous fool. See, a year ago, I had a life-threatening surgery where they actually had to take a part of my spine out. But a month after the surgery, I spoke to my doctor and he was like, "Everything's good, but hey, you're kind of spineless." And I was like, "Doctor, that is the last time anyone's going to call me spineless. I will be courageous. But more than that, I will face all the hard truths about my own self. I will never shy away." And then the doctor was like, "Oh, that's great. Now, have you been eating any junk food lately?" And then I stopped taking his calls. I'm Sarah. Thank you so much.